Today is August 30th, 2024. My name is Charles Suter. Today I'm presenting part 3 of my series, Becoming Decisive. And again, the reference, a book called Decisive by Chip and Dan Heath. My main message for this presentation is prepare to be wrong, so test the road ahead. Now, decisions are tough when you lack clarity as to what you want, why you want it, and how to achieve it. If you have a sufficiently good reason why you want to reach a certain end or destination, it'll be easier to find a how for getting there. To choose a how for obtaining your what, you need accurate information, including viable alternatives and how effective each one is in achieving your desired outcome. As discussed in the previous 2 presentations, to improve your decision making, you must widen your options. Most people are fixated on one primary approach while ignoring others and perhaps better options. Too often people try to invent their own action plan to implement their decision, when they could just as easily seek out people who have already paved the way and have a proven action plan. If you're lacking information and your action plan is filled with assumptions and perhaps tasks that you can't fully control, you need to validate the critical assumptions, find ways to fill the gaps, as these are the usual causes of failure. If you have the time, test both your assumptions and each of your leading options with small test runs to see how each alternative performs in reality rather than just theory. Finally, avoid making decisions when you're emotionally excited. Allow for a cooling off period before making important decisions. Now, in this presentation, I will stress the importance of knowing your higher order needs and core values, as these will guide you not only to picking the right decisions, but also the alternatives for reaching them. Your values will guide you as criteria for evaluating each of your alternatives. In addition, I will discuss the importance of stress testing your potential alternatives with small test runs to find out how well each one performs. Finally, to avoid getting carried away in any decision or any alternative, you need to set a tripwire. It's a trigger to get you to go switch off autopilot, become aware, and start making an evaluation as to whether you're wasting your time on a bad alternative or a wrong goal. Proposition 1. Know your priorities and core values. You may know what you want, but they may not link to your priorities and core values. The ultimate purpose of any decision is to satisfy needs based upon higher order values. Whatever needs you most value, they become the why you need to make a decision. For every end, there is a means. Decisions seek to find the best means to an end. The only way to evaluate decision options is to know your core values. Know thyself is the key to making good decisions, because not every desired outcome or goal leads to the satisfaction of your most important need, which is happiness. Success may only offer temporary happiness, fleeting. When you know your why, or what's truly important, then you'll be guided to both 1. Pick the right destinations to strive for, and 2. The right journeys to get there. For this reason, you must continually ask yourself why you want what you want. Can you link your wants to your higher order needs and core values? If you can do that, then your decision is appropriate. Proposition 2. Prepare to be wrong so you can prevent problems before they arise. Single point estimates are too optimistic. People just tend to ignore the downside. Every decision has a downside potential, so know what they are so you can be prepared to take countermeasures. Also, every decision has an upside potential. Find them and be prepared to exploit them. Not every journey will get you to where you want to go, and this is what makes decision making hard, because each decision has at least two parts. Part one is knowing what you want and why you want it, based upon your values as measured by the potential rewards and whether the rewards are worth the cost in time, resources, and efforts. Part two is what choices, alternatives, or options will best achieve your wants and needs. Once you firmly know your whats and whys, use them to define their criteria for evaluating and selecting the better alternatives. The better alternatives have a narrow range of outcome with a high expected outcome. You get this information by developing likely future scenarios and then estimating how well or poorly each alternative will perform on each. The better alternatives would have less downside risk and more upside potential for extra benefits. Also, different alternatives will have a different set of expected costs and benefits. Proposition 3. Set a tripwire so you don't overstep your boundaries while you're on autopilot. To overcome automated thinking and acting, which is what happens when you're in autopilot, set a reminder such as a tripwire so you can stop and review what you're doing. Tripwires allow you to focus on implementation of your action plan until the trigger point is reached. Tripwires trigger you to review your decision, and here are the three choices: keep going, stop, or change direction. Once people make a decision, they often go on autopilot mode with their blinders on, unifocused in the pursuit of their desires. To avoid staying on autopilot and falling into progressively a worsening situation, you need a tripwire or warning system to jolt you out of your legacy of unconscious actions. A tripwire is a reminder you have a choice to change direction at any time if events are not supporting your efforts. You must continue to remember you can change your mind to both ends and means. Often when people make a decision, the decision takes on a life of its own. The ego takes over and is motivated to complete what it started. Past decisions become part of the status quo and part of a person's comfort zone. People are loath to change once they get started on something. The only way to trigger your conscious awareness of your choice to continue or change direction is a tripwire, set in place at the beginning once you make your decision. Now here are some typical tripwires. Deadlines. Resource expenditure limits. When you run out of money, that's probably a good time to stop. An intermediate milestone, completion dates. If you keep missing your completion dates, something tells you something may be wrong. To keep from going from bad to worse in any uncompleted decision, you must take time to reconsider your decisions from time to time. Tripwires prevent senseless escalations. Tripwires allow you the certainty of committing to a course of action, even a risky one, while minimizing the overconfidence and the overcommitment of resources. Now my final message. If you want to become more decisive, know thyself. Gather good information and follow a good process. Decision making becomes easier if you avoid the missteps people typically make when they're trying to choose without good reasons why they want what they want or information how to get what they want. To make good decisions, you need to widen your alternatives, avoid Pollyannish optimism by considering you might be wrong, reality test your assumptions with test runs, avoid deciding in the heat of the moment, and develop both optimistic and pessimistic future scenarios to estimate how each alternative is likely to perform. Ultimately, good decisions are a product of 1. High motivation based upon your core values, good information and control over inputs required for success, and 3. Confidence you will be able to create all the conditions necessary for your decision to succeed. When you get these 3 factors under your control, you will become decisive. That's all for now. Remember to stay positive. You'll be happier, healthier, and live longer.